Hit one beat at a time, while up in more seasons. The mind of the summer, this must be a sign. Never see me for being too kind. I'm like opposite, step in my ill mind. Ill mind, that's right, I'm sick, but I still provide.
Welcome to Sack City. I'm Ty. That's Luchii. We're here to bring you our favorite NFL takes. So today we're talking a lot about free agency, which hasn't technically started yet, but we have a lot of moves happen so far, a lot of stuff that will and potentially will happen. So let's start with Geno Smith yesterday getting traded from the Seahawks to the Raiders. Luchii, what do you think about that?
Man, it's just crazy. I didn't think Geno was on the move. I just didn't see that coming. I know like I saw a lot of people saying, "Hey, Geno Smith's not that big of a deal moving." Whatever, bro. Like, dude, that's a quarterback that was a starter that we did not expect to get moved, and now he's going to the Raiders to be with Pete Carroll again. That's crazy.
Looks like the Raiders are trying to kind of lock him up for some time, and I wouldn't be too surprised if they still go get a young quarterback. I'm not saying they're going to get one with their first round pick.
Yeah.
Looks like they could get maybe Ashton Genty or somewhere else.
I feel like they're in a mode where they're like, "Hey, we want to see improvement," and it's like, "Okay, cool. How do we do that?" Well, let's get a quarterback in that is serviceable right now. Right now, we know what he can do. We know what we have in house now. With that, I then can build up the young core around him, and then once he starts to fade out, we go look for a younger guy to help ease the process. Maybe get someone sooner rather than later to have him kind of mentor. I think that would be a smart idea.
Maybe they can go get like a Jaden Milrow or Jalen Milrow or someone like that. I just think the whole Shedeur Sanders is out the window now. If he falls to them, people have been saying. I saw someone on social media say maybe the Jets now can land him Sanders if he falls. But we'll see. There's still a possibility that teams trade up. I saw something that the Giants want to trade a number one pick. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it's interesting. It's kind of cool that we don't really know what's going to happen in the first like 5, 6, 7 picks. It's more entertaining to me.
Right. I think it's more entertaining this year because it's actually a question. Whereas in years past, we kind of know who is the top 5. We knew where Caleb Williams was going to go, right? we knew what was happening there. This we have no idea. And in talking about Shedeur, I wonder if he's hurting his stock. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the reports, but reports were saying that he had an interview with the team I mean, it's all rumors and speculation, but there was a team that sat down and had an interview with him, and they were saying that he was really arrogant and
wow.
And they were coming for him, and then I saw a lot of people on the other side where they were saying, "Hey, you can't just call him arrogant, bro. That's just confidence." With a lot of noise is not yet necessarily always good. It's sometimes good, but in the NFL, it's not always good. Teams don't really like noise. So it's interesting,
especially
sure.
out of a young guy coming into the draft. They're like, "Oh, is this guy going to create some problems for us?" Do you think he'll be good in the league?
I see it as like this could be either a great pickup for whatever team gets him in the draft, or it's going to be a horrible time for that team.
It's very
and
interesting.
There's no in between.
It's so very interesting. Like, because at one point you're like, "Oh, Sanders is going to be the guy going, first, blah, blah, blah." But now it looks like Cam's going to be the first quarterback going, Cam Ward. There's a possibility that Abdul Carter goes number 1 overall with the Titans. He was in Tennessee the other day, apparently. So it's like there's a lot up in the air. Then the Jets land Sanders, that'll be very interesting because that's a really tough market, New York market, in any sport, baseball, whatever sport it is. It'll be very interesting to see how he kind of reacts in that market, if he can thrive in the market, and also if he can perform. Because there's a lot of pressure in New York, a lot of pressure. And that also brings us to Rodgers.
Oh, man.
This guy, I mean,
just retire, man.
Giants.
Just retire.
I think he should retire. I mean, but it looks like Giants. And then I guess he has the Vikings now. Like you said few weeks ago. Remember the whole Favre and
Vikings and the Giants, man.
man, Rodgers. I'm just it gets to the point where it's like it gets exhausting to kind of talk about it. I know I'm talking about it now, but I feel like it's like another thing, like another saga. It's like, will he retire? Will he go? It's down to it's three options for him right now. It looks like retirement, which is the betting favorite. Everything's a betting thing nowadays, but retirement, Giants and the Vikings. One of those three. Raiders is obviously out the window.
Yep.
I think he's got to hang him up. I think he's got to retire.
He's got to retire, bro. It's
Yeah,
time. It's time. It's been time. He should have retired too. He should have never left the Packers.
I agree.
Period. Don't leave the Packers, man. If I could go back in time, I'd tell him, hey, man, don't leave the Packers. You're a legend. You're not going to increase your ranking in the quarterback hierarchy. You can only decrease it at this point. I wish I could go back in time and tell him, because like it, man, he was bigger than life sometimes, it feels like. And now it's like, now, dude,
Why do you remember why he left the Packers?
yeah, he had problems with front office.
That's right. I think I remember
Not doing what he wanted. But they were like, dude, and then they drafted Jordan Love. And
yeah, that was the beginning of it.
I need help.
Yeah, that was the beginning of it, wasn't it? The beginning of the end.
At the time though, I was on his side.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
yeah,
why
me too.
Are you drafting another quarterback, bro? Like, you don't need to draft another quarterback right this second. Go get a wide receiver. Go help him out.
Yeah.
And then he finally did get some help, and I feel like it just,
it's too late.
It was too little, too late.
Yeah.
And I just, now I feel like the Packers did the right thing.
Yeah.
It's weird to see it that way, but man, like in retrospect, where I was like bashing the Packers for what they did, now I'm like, man, they actually made the right move because it forced him out, which may have been a good thing. he may have not needed to be there anymore. I just, as an Eagles fan, I would love to see him go to the Giants because I know we're gonna get 2 picks, at least.
Yeah,
we're gonna have 2 picks, at least 1 per game. We're gonna have a great chance of winning.
Secondary is crazy, by the way.
Oh,
I remember during the draft last year, I was like, yo, the Eagles just got 2 of the top 5 DBs in the whole draft. Literally
we really did.
I remember like in the stream just saying that, like, yeah, they got 2 of the top 5. It's crazy. But I mean, we're on the quarterback carousel now. So with Geno Smith leaving the Seahawks, what are they going to do now? Are they going to get Sam Darnold? Are they going to try to trade for JJ McCarthy? Are they going to try to trade for somebody else, or maybe Dart falls to them? But it'll be interesting to see what Seattle does. They have a lot of options. I just don't see Kirk Cousins going there. I don't see Russell Wilson going back there. I've seen some people say reunion. No, that's not happening.
No,
but we'll see what happens with the Seahawks, man.
Sam Darnold, I think, is actually out of the question.
Okay.
I don't think he can, because it sounds like the Vikings are trying to get this deal to be done now, even before free agency actually starts coming up.
Like, I want to see them trade for JJ.
Hours.
That'd be nice, huh?
I don't think the Vikings will let him go.
Yeah.
I think they're going to keep JJ and keep Sam Darnold. They're going to sign Sam Darnold to maybe a 2-3 year deal, which gives him 2 years essentially of, hey, we believe in you to be the guy, and also coach JJ. And then that 3rd year, they'll look to trade him to somewhere else when his stock is high, and people will be like, oh, he's a serviceable quarterback, which is what he is right now. And I think with this Vikings offense, he can continue that trajectory, and it will just be like, they're going to try to trade him to another team. We've been using JJ's been, like my Blastoise. He's in the test tube. We've just been keeping him in the test tube, learning until he was ready to go. And now we're going to trade Sam Darnold. Interesting thing is that I just don't know where the Seahawks go from here, because, dude, they have the 18th pick.
Oh, yeah.
So their pick is super low. I don't think they get a quarterback.
Yeah, for like a quarterback in the 1st round. Yeah. They can get one in the 2nd round.
Really. Or maybe they think, I think for sure they traded Geno for a reason. They must see something in one of these quarterbacks.
that's
because I
available
don't know
now.
what other
Like
quarterback they
that's
get.
in the league now, right? So they could trade someone. Is that what you're saying, or trade for somebody, or
Oh,
they see
I'm saying
someone somewhere?
I think they see someone
Okay.
on this draft pool that we're not seeing because it would not make sense otherwise that they traded their serviceable quarterback that we were like, hey, no, like he keeps that offense running for a third round pick. That doesn't make sense unless you think one of these quarterbacks actually pans out that we're not seeing. And I will say in the combine, there was a few quarterbacks that actually kind of started lighting up a little bit that were not named Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders.
I
You
know
know what I
Dart
mean?
stock rose, didn't it?
Yes.
So
I
what
just
if
man,
they use the extra pick to, we'll get this extra pick and we're going to trade up somewhere. Maybe
fair.
not saying like top 3 or 5, but maybe they trade up for a door, or maybe they wait, maybe like a Milrow falls to them or someone like that. I don't know. Is Ewers worth waiting for? Maybe the second, third round, or is he? Because I haven't heard. I mean, he kind of fell off the face of the earth, in my opinion. Like I haven't heard much about him. I'm not really a huge fan of him either. Um, but it's weird. I think they have a lot of options. Like you said, they probably they see somebody. Maybe
They must, dude. I just don't
maybe they
know.
trade. Maybe they know we'll use this third round pick to trade for somebody in the NFL now. You know what I think
Um,
they might be doing? This is just speculation. I think because it seems like they're kind of going into rebuild here, like slightly. You know what I mean? Like they got rid of Dino, they're getting rid of DK. Lockett's gone. Obviously, I think Lockett's one of the more underrated receivers ever. I mean, he's so underrated, man. Um, but it's just like obviously they have JSN, they have their backs, but I think no, direction they might go. They might just try to get, like I said, serviceable quarterback for this season, and maybe next because next year's NFL draft it looks like the quarterback class can be pretty strong.
mhm.
Or try to get a free agent next year. Maybe they try to go sign like a Gardner Minshew, you know what I mean? Who I love Minshew, no hate. And I'm not saying he's like a
Yeah.
bad quarterback. I love Minshew, man. Maybe they go get Minshew, or maybe they try to trade for the Patriots backup quarterback and something that keep them kind of holding over
Yeah.
until a stronger draft class. That's another option. I mean, they have so many options, so many paths they can take on this.
I have heard one rumor, well, heard, read, read more like, but I did read one rumor that there are a few teams who are considering holding out on any of these quarterbacks for Arch Manning. Good old Archie.
Was the Giants one of them?
Giants were one of
I
them.
remember reading that somewhere. Still the quarterback. There's a lot of quarterbacks to talk about today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that? I saw a report earlier today. Colts have been shopping Anthony Richardson in trade talks, but haven't had much interest. Do you think they should shop him, or do you think they should just like hold it? Because I mean, he technically this past season was technically his rookie year because he was hurt all year his rookie year. Do you think they should trade him or should they hold on to him?
This is tough to hear, but you got to trade him or you got
Okay.
to release him. I wanted to like him. I really did, but there's no coming back, I don't feel like, from what I just don't see I don't see the vision. I don't see the
Mhm.
vision. He's too sporadic. He's too trigger happy at times with him throwing the ball. Like it's just too much where he's throwing too many interceptions. His completion percentage is way too low. Like historically low. It's bad. It's bad.
I saw a
Their
rumor that
backup
they might
quarterback.
try to bring in Daniel Jones.
I saw that too. I don't know that that's really competition.
Yeah, free agent quarterback Daniel Jones has quietly had a strong market up to this point in the offseason, with the Colts among the teams interested. A return to the Vikings cannot be ruled out. Do we think, bias aside, do we think if Daniel Jones has they have like a top 3 line, I think their O line's really good. A good running back, obviously. I mean, he had Saquon too, but and a pretty good receiving core. I love Josh Downs. I really do.
Yep.
Let's say they go add like a Warren. Do you think Daniel Jones can be like pretty damn good on that offense?
I hate to go either way on
Like,
this. It's like
tough
the
question,
problem is
man.
the tough part about it is that we have seen him with a more competent wide receiver room more competent O-line, not the best O-line, but more competent, and Saquon, but before Saquon was this Saquon, right? We saw him with that, and they did go to the playoffs. I don't know if that was just stupid luck. It could have been. I feel like that might be the outlier. I don't know that that's actually going to be the norm. I think that's the outlier, which is why I said the Colts could go get Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know that that would have been a horrible idea.
Mm.
But I still, yeah, we already talked to Aaron Rodgers. I think he might be going to the Giants. This kind of went into why I think that those quarterbacks could drop in the draft. I think they go get Aaron Rodgers. The Giants do. And I think the Titans stick with Will Levis. I don't know that it's a great idea, but I think they might get Abdul Carter, which means I don't know unless the Browns pick up Cam Ward or Sanders. I don't know where else they go. You know what I mean? A lot of these places already have quarterbacks. They're looking for another move here. So I feel like it's going to be very interesting in the next few days.
I think Monday we'll start to see everything start to pop off. And then I
Correct.
think officially Wednesday at 4 is officially the new league year. But Monday, I think Monday when the legal period opens up, everyone starts to go crazy.
Hey, so let's kick off some of the signings and releasings and trades that have occurred in a quick, shootout, because there's so many of these that have occurred, in the last few days, in the past week. Starting with the Buffalo Bills, Khalil Shakir signed a 4-year extension worth up to $60.2 million to come back to the Bills. They also got a defensive end. They're re-signed some of their defensive pressure.
Russo, I like him a lot. It was a 4-year, $80 million extension. I love Russo. He's really good. He's probably one of the better defensive players outside of Mike Milano.
And Bernard, 4-year extension, $50 million. Pretty good. Ferguson re-signed a 4-year contract as well. There's no money reported, at least. Some teams haven't done anything notably, at least notable. Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, Ravens. Nothing really occurring right now.
Bengals are signing Gesicki. 3 years, 25.5. Gesicki. Gesicki is, I've always liked Mikey G. Gesicki's a pretty solid tight end for them.
Yeah. He's good. He did what he needed last year. I feel like he was working hard to try to win those games. Poor guy.
The
T.
Bucks,
Higgins.
Oh, T. Higgins got franchise tag. The Bucks are signed Levante David, one of my favorite Buccaneers players, outside of Mike Evans, to 1-year extension. That's good. I think it's 10 mil, 1 year, 10 mil. I love Levante David.
Then Donald Parham Jr. signed a 1-year contract with the Steelers, tight end. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know who that is.
You know who got released that I want the Patriots to go after so badly? It's Harold Landry.
Oh,
we need a backer. He had his best seasons under Vrabel. You never know.
Yeah, the trade for Christian Kirk, 7th round pick for Christian Kirk from the Jaguars to the Texans. What a great trade for Christian Kirk and the Texans. What are they doing?
I love Kirk, man. I love Kirk. I think he's like super underrated, man.
A 7th round pick?
I feel like the only reason it was a 7th was because he got hurt last year, but even then it should not be a 7th round pick. Christian Kirk is severely underrated, man. I like Christian Kirk a lot.
And Deebo Samuel got traded for a PB&J sandwich.
Yeah.
And Christian Kirk got traded for just the potato bag, not the chips inside, just the bag itself.
So where does this leave Cup's trade value now? Yeah, it's not going to be as high as it was going to be. Maybe let's say like 2 weeks ago.
I'm not understanding these trades. I'm gonna be so honest. I don't get it. Deebo kind of made sense. That one kind of made sense to me. He's declining. He hasn't really performed in the last 2 years. That one made more sense to me. Christian Kirk doesn't make sense to me. He had better numbers.
So if Deebo went for like, let's say like a 3rd or a 4th, which I'm not saying is what he should have gone for, where do you think Kirk would have gone? There's no way he would have been at 7, right? Maybe like 5 or 6.
Dude. I honest to God, though, I feel like Kirk had better trade value. He should have had better trade value. He's not going downhill. He's been a very good wide receiver for a while. It's not like he's been horrible. I mean, the Jags can't honestly look at this and go, the Jags can't look at this and be like, we won this trade. There's no way that
No.
you're getting the Christian Kirk value in a seventh round pick. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I mean, anything's possible, but the likelihood that the seventh round pick becomes even close to Christian Kirk's value is no, it's
So
not going to happen. It's
so
not going to
where
happen
does
for
this
them.
lead? I love that for Houston, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he'll thrive in an offense. But now, where does this leave Stephon Diggs?
Oh,
Is he
he's
gonna?
out.
Yeah, he's not. They're
There's
not
no
resigning
way.
him.
There's no way.
So that's a conversation. I think next week's gonna be a heavy topic. Is gonna be Stephon Diggs. I think
Yeah.
come next week, when the free agency frenzy starts, I think his name's gonna start popping up a lot everywhere. That's gonna
Yeah.
be really intriguing. And obviously Cooper Cup, like you
Cooper
said, we might
Cup
see a lot of
and
moves
him.
happen sooner than later. I think Cooper Cup's gonna be one of them. You know
Um,
who's gonna have a good market if he hits free agency is gonna be Godwin. That's if he doesn't stay with Tampa. You know, if he does not resign with Tampa, Godwin is a really good player, man. He gets overlooked a lot. Godwin was on pace. I forget. Joe sent me his numbers for his through his first 5 games last year. It was insane. Like Godwin is really good.
Godwin is very good. I do
So
like him.
yeah,
Um,
I wonder
I don't.
where.
I think they need to keep him though. To be honest.
Yeah. Oh, if I'm Tampa, I'm resigning Godwin. Doing my best to do so.
Yeah.
Did you see a rumor that I don't know if it's true or not that the uh, Eagles might trade Goddard? Did you see that?
I've seen that. He has 1 year left on his contract, and so the idea is that they would trade him because he's 30-year-old tight end. We keep Grant Calcaterra, who's much younger, um, who's not as strong but a little bit more athletic. Um, and we roll the dice on a tight end in this draft.
Mm.
I'm not sure that's going to happen. I understand the sentiment. I don't foresee that happening. I think we just re-signed Goddard. I think we're going to get an extension for Goddard soon. Um, I foresee a lot of players staying, except for Milt Williams and Sweat and Slay. I think a lot of players are going to stay put. I don't know that we're going to let Goddard go.
Nah, yeah. I personally, from the outside looking in, don't see it happening. Speaking of re-signings, also Bobby Wagner 1 year deal.
Yeah,
That's a good re-signing. I mean, he's a good true leader.
great
He
leader.
was a big help for that defense, like mentally as well. Like he's a leader. He's a leader. He's been there, done that. Like he knows how to lead these guys. So it was, I think, one of the biggest priorities to kind of bring him back for that defense. And then also, this is a little random, but speaking of the Jags earlier, I mean, they released Ingram. It seems like they're cleaning house.
Yeah, it seems like they're just get everybody out. Everybody
Yeah.
go. Everybody goes.
So they
Trevor
got,
Lawrence is the only one we keep.
yeah, I mean, they obviously traded Kirk. They got rid of Ingram. Um, Duvernay's gone. Ronald Darby, I mean, he's a little older, isn't he? He's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of sweeping them out. I think they need a lot of cap. I mean, they need to save some cap. So, like we said earlier, I think they could land Cup. He's the favorite right now, but we'll see. They're going to try to get something.
Yeah.
Maybe they try to sign Diggs, maybe like a little swap. We'll see. They're going to make a splash at receiver. But we'll see who it is because obviously they got that Brian Thomas Jr., who I love, who's unbelievable.
Yep.
So we'll see what they
Cup would be
do.
a perfect addition with him, I
Yeah.
feel like, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be a good 1-2 punch for them.
Yeah.
But also, like, they need to they need to figure out what direction they're going in
Yeah.
first before committing to Cup. I feel like you got to have some direction. Also, Commanders, I like Bobby Wagner getting re-signed because I like Bobby Wagner.
Mhm.
But it feels like that's a good direction. And then they went and released Allen. Like, the math is not mathing. I'm not
Yeah.
understanding, bro. They gave up a third round pick for Debo, and then they go and they release Allen out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't understand that one. I feel like he was a great player for them on the defensive side, and Bobby Wagner is kind of coaching him up a little bit, and they just got rid of him. It's like that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I feel like there's more releases
A ton. There's a
in
ton.
in this season, this off season, than I can remember in other off seasons.
Like Bosa, Joey Bosa.
Bosa.
Like
What?
that, listen, I don't think any of us saw a release coming. If you did, I think you're lying. I think a
Yeah.
trade was obviously, I've seen trade rumors flying around for this offseason, but a release is kind of crazy. Probably going to go to San Fran. We all know why. That's probably like that's would probably be my opinion, the favorites there. I'm sure they are. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see Bosa goes. Wasn't there a big run in with him and Eagles fans? Remember that?
Yes, there was.
I saw someone say, "Oh, Eagles," and I seen the comments were so funny. Like, yeah, do you remember? I don't think that's gonna happen.
So he went to there was rumors there the second he got released, the immediate rumor of he's gonna go to the Eagles because anyone get released is automatically going to the Eagles, apparently.
Yeah. You're at that time right now.
Yeah.
You were at that time. The Chiefs were at that time last year. This is the Eagles' time. Oh, Eagle,
Yeah.
Eagle.
He's going to the
I
Eagles.
think because like when you see like the best team in a given year, Eagles are the best team this year. I think that's kind of like people's automatic opinions, like, oh, he's going to go to the Eagles. He's going to go to the Eagles. And also, you got Howie as well, who's great.
Right. The problem is that he has beef with the Eagles fans.
Yeah.
They went to the 49ers versus the Eagles game. He was supporting his brother. He walked in and he may have had a few drinks in.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
He was chirping. He was chirping with the fans. The fans were being Eagles fans. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They were they were chirping, and he was chirping right back. And so that encounter may make it where I don't think Joey Bosa even thinks about going to the Eagles.
Yeah, it's got to be the Niners, man.
It's got to be the Niners, right? I mean, like that's got to be the where he goes. He goes play with his brother. Oh,
he
my
wants
gosh,
to. He's made it vocal in his past that he wants to too. Like a few years ago,
Marquise Brown re-signing with the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
That happened today.
Yep, about an hour ago. I love
today,
it.
as in Saturday, which is great. Trey Smith staying. He got the franchise tag from the Chiefs. Oh, Tommy DeVito re-signed with the Giants.
Hey, on the college.
Tommy.
It's a guaranteed. Yeah. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Max Crosby getting a historical deal with the Raiders. Insane.
Well deserved. I love Max
yes.
Crosby, man.
Saquon getting an insane running back deal. Resetting that running back market.
Same thing. Well deserved.
Oh yeah, and then Zach Bond re-signing on a 3-year deal, $51 million. Darius Slay getting released, and then Darius Slay decided to start chirping for some reason, leaving Hurts off of his top 4 quarterbacks list. I won't kill him for it. I definitely disagree with him for obvious reasons. The real one that I saw was that he left CJ Gardner-Johnson off of the list of names of defensive players on the Eagles when talking about leaders on his podcast that recently got deleted.
So all this is happening, the Jalen Hurts and the
at the same time.
Gardner-Johnson, this is all happening after they released him?
Yep.
I'm assuming. Okay, because that'd be
in his first podcast after being released, this all happened. And then he went on another podcast and said Jalen Hurts is not in his elite quarterback list. Have a good time, man. We appreciate your time with us. But don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like, bye. I was thinking that we were going to try to re-sign him and restructure and maybe, put him on cheaper pay. But yeah, dude, bye. Cool. We don't need that. It's not necessary. I think he's butthurt that we let him go. And truthfully, dude, you're getting older as a cornerback. It's gonna happen. Chirping like that after proves the point of why we don't need him. We just need to re-sign Isaiah Rodgers, and then I'd be happy.
I like Isaiah Rodgers. So that sound brings us to the 2-minute warning. Let's catch up on some of these top news headlines. Luchii, what happened this week?
Yeah, so Stephen A. Smith kind of got little broed by LeBron James for talking about his son Bronny. I'll be honest, I kind of think this looks a little weird. I find it very odd. I don't know why an athlete would go up to an analyst. They're just saying their opinions. But LeBron took offense to it, I guess, and he went up to him at the Knicks game versus the Lakers, and he gave him an earful. You could tell it was really funny video actually to watch. And all now Stephen A just got his contract, $100 million dollars right after that. A few days.
I love that timing.
Yeah. What you got?
So also in the sports news world, the Boston Bruins traded Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers for a second-round pick in 2027. It's kind of crazy. Only reason I know that is because I live down here in South Florida, and all these fans are going crazy. They're booing him like crazy down here. 2 years ago, now they're his biggest fan. Big news. Big news.
That's
what you got?
Huge. Last one I got is going to be Nikola Jokic. Last night having an overtime win over the Phoenix Suns, but he put up a 30-20-20. So he had 31 points, 20-something rebounds, and 20-something assists.
Insane.
It's insane. It's never happened. Never been done before. This man is probably going to win MVP again. He's going to be 4-time MVP, Nikola Jokic.
So we'll end this with, where do you think, assuming he gets this MVP, where do you think he finishes all time for centers?
For centers in general, man, he's creeping. I don't know, maybe 3. I mean, it's going to be tough. You're talking Wilt, Kareem, Shaq. There's a lot of good centers. And so, you know, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but Nikola Jokic is moving on up. I think by the end of his career, we're going to be talking about Nikola Jokic. He might be one of the best of all time.
That's going to wrap things up for us today, guys. You guys know the drill. If you enjoyed us today, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, give us some love. And as always, it's good to see you. We'll see you in the next one.